One of the 2024 trends is for sure what is going to be this year for Spotify. I've been talking about Spotify in some of my previous videos, and I've received mixed reviews and mixed feedback from the audience. Some of the content creators and artists out there, they really embrace the Spotify ecosystem and their policies, and some other artists, they want to go completely off the grid and find alternatives and not even consider streaming as an option. As I mentioned in my previous videos, Spotify and Instagram are two of the go-to platforms when it comes down to record labels and managements, and of course booking agencies or agents, when they want to work with an artist, when they want to understand, at least on a surface level, what type of interaction, what type of attention are they receiving from the online audience. Spotify, throughout the years, has been criticized by the artist community for their payout system, the way they structure paying for streams and what kind of value artists can get from metrics like monthly listeners, playlists, saves, and followers. Now, we all know that being extremely popular on Spotify, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna sell a lot of tickets in a show, or you're gonna be able to tour, or you're gonna get enough interest from a label to work with you. Depending on the genre you express yourself, if it is electronic music, classical music, jazz, world music, you're going to see different types of, let's say, KPI, key performance index, when it comes down to how many monthly listeners you're supposed to have, how many streams you're supposed to have in order to be considered a relevant artist. No matter what type of interaction you have on Spotify, you should always keep an eye on the numbers and on the level of interaction that you have on that platform, because it is considered an index of how dedicated and focused you are and what type of strategy you have when it comes down to understand the level of interaction of your music online with a random audience on one of the most popular music platforms in the world. Probably for streaming is the most popular in the world. In fairness, even we can criticize the payout from Spotify, we need to acknowledge that in the past few years, Spotify has made a huge effort when it comes down to providing access to analytics, and this is because of the Spotify for Artists, and also giving opportunities to artists living in particular areas. There has been a focus on giving access to resources for podcast creators. Also lately, and I'm going to cover this in a dedicated video, getting access to their Spotify studios for songwriting sessions, production sessions. All this shows an increasing interest from Spotify to interact with the content creator community and try to find a fair balance. It's also true that we have an increasing new wave of new artists that they value independence above everything else, above status, above numbers. Their independence and their brand is a very strong form of showing their identity to the audience out there with no compromises. This is because the music industry has always been relying on one form or another to get an idea of how that particular song or that particular artist will perform once they get access to a budget to market their music, to promote their music to an audience that they don't know them, to an audience of completely fresh and new viewers and listeners. If we don't have an online meter to understand how a song is performing or how an artist is being perceived by an audience, it is really, really difficult to understand who is doing art for passion but just as a hobby and is just randomly waiting for that particular moment and that particular place and luck to maybe being able to build a career, or if we're dealing with an artist that they're either very well managed or they have the right mindset and we think we can work with them. Spotify, in all this throughout the years, has been proved a reliable source of information when it comes down to analytics. And yes, there is a lot of debate around the algorithm to suggest music to listeners, the Spotify radio, the way the playlists are managed, both the editorial playlist and the one created by individual users. And of course, there is a lot of debate around the source of streams. And Spotify, they confirmed that this year they're going to have a zero tolerance policy for streams that use bots or artificial sources. And also, they put a threshold on tracks that don't reach 1,000 streams. If you don't reach 1,000 streams, you're not going to get paid. Now, how do I view all this? My personal opinion is that this is good. This is good because even we might never see money from tracks that perform below 1,000 streams, and we are like, yeah, we just want to have my music, on Spotify and have it there just in case somebody discovers it, which is a valid point. At the same time, we will have any way to decide where to send our audience. So if we don't believe in Spotify, at least make sure that your fans are on YouTube or on TikTok or on Instagram. And when it comes down to music, well, it's a bit different, to build an audience around videos, around reels, shorts, or TikToks, than building an audience around sound, around a song, around a piece of music, an album. That's a completely different world, because Spotify right now is a music platform, it's a sound platform. It's not a platform that I go to watch a music video, or I go to get the behind the scenes photo shoot of that band working in that studio. It's a platform that I go to put on headphones and get myself into a different dimension, to give myself emotions through sound, through music that is available on an online platform, in this case on Spotify. So you can have whatever approach you want. If you are a passive listener, you're going to rely on the algorithm. If you're an active listener, you're going to look for music to discover. You're going to dig into new releases. You're going to be up to date with your local scene, who is coming up, who is the one to watch. The reality is that the majority of people out there, they either don't have the time or the interest to discover new music. They just want to sit down and have a platform that will choose and suggest music for them. This is why Spotify is working. It's working because I don't even need to know the name of a song or an artist. I can just look for a playlist and choose music based on the mood. Or if I want to work out, I can have a workout techno playlist or a workout vintage rock playlist. The point obviously comes down to who is curating those playlists. But isn't it the same of having somebody doing a mixtape and giving it to you? Or listening to a random DJ giving you the weekend DJ mix because they think that's the music that will get you pumped up for the weekend? It's pretty much the same. You are a passive listener, so it's already give for granted that you're not going to put the effort to actively listen to new music and find out about that particular music scene in that city or that country. On the other hand, we do have a niche, which is the niche of music lovers. The audience that is really passionate about music, maybe they love lyrics or they love certain sounds or a particular instrument, and they want to build their own playlist. They want to go to certain artists because they have that sound, that message that they really identify with, that makes them feel good. So in that case, you can do that on Spotify too. So you see that if we don't take into account the whole debate around how Spotify pays artists and labels, the platform itself is actually really good. And also, if you check a little bit about the different apps that Deezer and iTunes have, recently updated, where they give you access to your analytics as an artist, so Deezer for artists, Apple Music for artists, you see that Spotify is still winning. They still have a better user interface, a better way of visualizing data, and getting an in-depth understanding of your demographics. Now, we do live in the artificial intelligence age, which means that now more than ever, it's completely pointless to pump up your numbers or fake your monthly listeners or buying inexisting streams that comes from some bot in God knows where. So it's completely pointless. It's better to say, look, my audience is 500 monthly listeners, and I have this and that track that are 20,000, 30,000 streams, and I know that 80% of those listeners are actually in my town, and that will allow me to be confident and saying, maybe I should get out there and play a few shows in my town, rather than having your stats and your analytics completely messed up by numbers of people that don't even exist. And they wouldn't allow you to understand how to plan your strategy to build your own career. That way, yes, then Spotify will not be able to help you. If you watch this video on YouTube, please check the video description below, where you're gonna find a summary of the topics that I covered in this video, and click on the link to download my free ebook, 10 Hacks for Content Creators, which is a collection of tips and real-life scenarios that I have accumulated over the past 15 plus years working in the entertainment industry with super interesting people and very successful artists, where they really make me understand the value of some stuff that is not even on YouTube. Just very important points that you need to cover at least once in your career, and that I've been through, literally experienced by trial and error. And I hope that by giving you my experience, my knowledge in a short ebook, it will make you question your career, because questions are more important than answers. See you soon.